The one thing we're missing is those soft skills that they don't have a chance to develop. Leadership is a very well-documented topic, and to say it's well-documented would be an understatement, because if you type in the word leadership in Google, it returns over 600 million results. It's over 500 million. So that tells me one of two things. One, we really don't understand the subject, or two, a lot of people have opinions on it. So really, not to be left out, I wanted to add my voice to the party. And the thing is that the genesis of this portion of the leadership talk I'm about to share with you was the result of being asked to talk to the business students at Ottawa University. You see, we teach these students all sorts of subjects related to business, accounting, whatever, but we don't talk to them about leadership, and they are our future leaders. So, as Albert Einstein once said, that you know, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you really don't understand it. And I think he was truly talking about me, being the 6-year-old, that is. So I have a definition of leadership, and quite simply is, leadership is about helping others achieve. Quite simply that. That is the role of a leader, is to help other people. And so as we, I'm not going to talk about the various styles of leadership, because in his book, Peter Bender mentions that there are 16 ways to describe leadership. And they run the gamut from the typical compass, where you're either north and action-oriented, or south and you've got a lot of empathy, or the country club in the quadrant format and team leader. I'm not sure what a country club is, but, or my favorite is you're one of the 4 animals described in this. I just want to talk on, and it'll be brief because we don't have a lot of time this evening, but I just want to talk on those characteristics that I have seen throughout my career from great leaders. So I just want to touch on those over the next few minutes. And now I'd like to just spend a couple of minutes just touching on mentoring, because it's a really important subject. And the thing is mentoring has grown in importance in many organizations. And, but again, I have a simple definition for mentoring. Mentoring is helping the future become reality. When you think about it, that's our job when we're mentoring people. And the thing is the reason mentoring has become somewhat more important in many organizations is because I believe there's no more mailrooms. And what I mean by mailrooms is, once upon a time, in many organizations, you could start in the mailroom, in the warehouse, in the clerical department, and work your way through the organization as you gained your skills, but you understood the culture and got to see the organization operating. That doesn't exist anymore, because we now hire people and we expect them to be fully baked. It doesn't matter how old they are. And they do come with all the technical skills required, whatever that happens to be. But the one thing we're missing is those soft skills that they don't have a chance to develop, because they used to do that a long time ago as corporations trained people and mentored them and brought them through the organization. It was a bit of an osmosis type of thing. So what I'd like to do now is just spend a few minutes and just touch briefly on what mentoring is and sort of the responsibilities of both parties. But before we can have any kind of conversation on mentoring, we need to establish the boundaries between coaching and mentoring. One's not better than the other. I've come up with kind of the 3 R's of mentoring, if you wish. And they are simply respect, responsibility, and results. I'll tell you a little story. It's about Acres of Diamond. Acres of Diamonds is about a farmer who owned a farm in Africa and was barely eking out a living. It was subsistence farming. And he kept trying to do and improve his farm, but it wasn't working. But he kept hearing everywhere about people making fast fortunes by discovering diamonds. So he continued to toil away on his farm. And then at one point he said, enough. He wanted to go chase the elusive diamonds and realize his dream of great wealth. So he sold his farm and off he went. And the gentleman that bought his farm wasn't much better at making a living on the farm, but he was toiling away. And one day he had a friend come out from the village, and he was a businessman, just to share a cup of tea. So they're sitting there drinking the tea, and the businessman says, do you know what those rocks are on your mantle? And the farmer says, no. He says, I got them everywhere on my property. He says, the really nice ones are in the dried up creek bed. He said, the businessman proceeded to tell him, those are diamonds. Because see, diamonds in their natural state are not what we see in our finished jewelry. It went on to be one of the biggest diamond mines ever discovered in its day. Oh, and the farmer that sold the farm, he died penniless, never having discovered any diamonds whatsoever. So what's the moral of the story? So we need to know what we're looking for. And sometimes what we're looking for is right under our feet. Well, there was a study done by Leadership IQ. They interviewed over 32,000 people, so it wasn't an insignificant number of people. And they surveyed them on the amount of time they spent with their leaders or managers or bosses. And they found that 50% of the people spent less than 3 hours. However, those that spent more than 6 hours or more, they were 29% more inspired, 30% more engaged, 15% more motivated, and 10% more innovative. I don't know about you, but I'll take an inspired, engaged, motivated, and innovative staff anytime over anything else. So let me close by saying, it is time for all of us to stand and cheer for the doer, the achiever, the one who recognizes the challenge and does something about it. And I think that's everyone in this room and all the recipients for the awards tonight.